Buenos dias.
Hello, hello. Buenas noches.
That's true. I'm half bilingual.
Just the English
Oh,
part.
well, it is great to be back home for Wednesday night. Seems like forever for one
Oh yeah.
reason or another. So, hey, Jason, let me say on behalf of my dear brother and I, the coffee that you have sent to us is delicious.
It is.
Josh, what was our flavor of the day?
I think it's called the Taste of Santa Fe. The Taste of Santa Fe. I think that's what it was.
Yes,
It's caramel and vanilla.
yes, dude.
That
Um,
was the. It's got a little vanilla on the front end, caramel on the back end. It was delicious.
we could offer a coffee tasting for a small fee.
We could.
You could we could pick the taste of the day, and you could come by for a tasting if you're out and about. You can bring your own cup and take it with you, or I've got plenty of coffee cups. Or better than that, you can purchase yourself one of those brand new ALF mugs and put it in
Ooh,
it,
we do
or
have
the
plenty of those
decanter.
left. Yeah, we have a good number of those left. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, if anybody
Yeah,
wants some, come on and stop by. We'll brew you. I mean,
yeah.
Jimmy and I don't really need an excuse to make some coffee or drink some coffee.
Oh no, no, not at all. And I don't know, maybe trying to think. I don't know, maybe tomorrow, but if not tomorrow, then definitely next week we should pick a day and advertise what coffee we're going to make, and
Yeah,
see if
see
anybody
if we
wants to
can.
stop by for a cup.
I
We
like
may
it.
have to make more than one pot.
Yeah, we could do it kind of around somewhere closer to the lunch hour in case somebody wants to stop by on a break or something like that. It'd be a good idea.
Right? Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, we might get it. So,
Or we could do it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll
well,
figure
it's
it
not
out. So many
morning.
people, so many people are working from home these days. I wonder how many people are, still. I mean, Sarah is I mean, for the foreseeable future, but I don't know how many people that got extended. Do we still? Yes. You
Yes,
can answer that.
Viviana, we do have. Actually, we've taken inventory, and we need to promote what we have. If there's something in particular that you would like, you can let me know, and we'll see if we have it. Our little chat won't show a photograph, will it? I don't think so.
Not unless you put it on your screen and share a screen or something.
Oh, that's well, yeah, Viviana, we've got them. So hit us up. So
Yeah, we should put. That reminds me, we should try and get those t-shirt things and stuff for Easter. We could have all that stuff set out.
we
That might be
could,
a good idea if we have. I mean, I don't want to give us too much to do, but that might be a good time to do it.
right? Kind of, yeah, because we've got a good inventory and of what we have, so we could, I've it's been me. I've been intending to put that out, but here we are.
Vivian
So
wants her a hoodie.
all right, we have some hoodies. I'd have to check the sizes, but anyway. So a few things I want to make sure to remind everyone is Saturday night, spring forward. It is that time of year again. Can you believe it?
I'm ready for the longer days. To be
Are
honest, I
you?
love I love the fall winter, but I'm tired of the sun setting at 4:30.
Yeah, you're graciously ready to receive it. The
Give me the longer
new
sun.
the new timed schedule. So that is Saturday night, Sunday morning. As you go to bed.
That used to be a big
Also,
deal. That used to be you got to turn all the clocks yourself.
oh yeah,
Set everything.
I asked you. We both have iPhones, and they automatically update. But every time I go to bed worried because if it goes wrong, I might be late to work. So and then we had our newsletter today with some great information on it. And if you would like to receive the newsletter and you're currently not, get me your email address and we'll make that happen for you. And then a week from Sunday, in person Sunday school. opens back up. We're excited about that, and
Amen.
we're looking forward to getting kind of back to what we considered routine in some ways. So we're looking forward to that, and just want to say, thanks for 16 years. No, I'm not quitting, but Sunday was, a special day for us. 16 years is pretty incredible.
Now, did you remember it was 16 years?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of like a prisoner, counting the days.
You were
You
like
know,
you were like the bride seeing if the husband would remember the anniversary.
Yep. So we've been on campus now for it was 9 years in February. So now Sharon and I were chuckling. We went to dinner Sunday night, I believe it was. Well, no, we went to brunch Sunday after church. And we were chuckling that we have been at ALF for over half of our marriage and half of our ministry career. So, well, look at Viviana. Look, we're 16-year twins. That's awesome.
Man, I'm surprised she's been there longer than Sarah. That's crazy. Sarah's been there. Well, I don't know. Sarah's been there forever too.
So, some good, just some good information out there, and I'm really looking forward to as the inoculation numbers begin to rise, and as the infection cases kind of begin to settle down. I'm looking forward to seeing folks as they feel comfortable coming back into active in-person church life. Lord
the
willing.
way that you use the term inoculation, like we're Puritans from the
That's right.
1600s.
I'm really worn out on hearing the word shot.
How about vaccination? Is you worn out on that too?
I like inoculation. It just, I don't know. It sounds brainier.
It does. Thankfully, we don't actually do inoculations anymore. But yeah, it does sound cooler.
So what's the difference?
There is a difference. So with inoculations, the actual, if I remember correctly, with inoculation, they actually would used to like put part of the live virus in there. It was for smallpox and stuff, and you would actually get it. Whereas vaccination, it's a far weaker. But I don't know. They might use it. They might still use it. Interchangeably. I think it's a cooler term.
Did both of them have chips in it?
Yeah. Well, you have to ask Bill Gates. Every time I hear inoculation, I think smallpox. I don't know why. I guess that's because that was the big which that's crazy. I mean, when was the last time that was around? I mean, that got wiped out a long time ago.
Well,
I mean, do people still get that?
How many folks have the scar on their shoulder where they?
Oh yeah.
I didn't scar, so.
There was a guy. There's a short YouTube video I saw where there's still a guy who has polio, and he's in the iron lung, and he's like, and he became a lawyer. He did. I mean, the fact that he's been able to survive is amazing. But a few years ago, they had to get somebody to work on it, and nobody knew how to work on it. So because when was the last time you've seen an iron lung? So anyway, they found a guy, and he was able to actually machine parts for it because they obviously don't make them anymore. But when was polio? Was that like World War II around?
Somewhere back there, because my uncle suffered from polio, but he fought in the Korean conflict. So,
that's just crazy. That whole thing. They said there was like a summer. I guess it was like COVID. I guess we've experienced something like it, where people freaked out because they didn't know how it was passed and all this other stuff. And these kids kept getting it. I don't know why specifically kids got it, but kids would get polio, and just they didn't know what it was and all that kind of stuff. It's crazy, man, just to see what different generations have gone through and all that. I guess that's what FDR had, right? Polio.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Hey, shout out to my buddy Chad. We were Criswellites together, and student ministers. He served here in the area, and I'm still here, so he served while I was here. So we've had some wonderful times together, and we're way overdue for a catch-up meal, I believe, my brother. So thank you for being here, and I've been praying for you, Chad. I saw that there was the loss of a friend, and so I've been thinking about you and that. So just a lot of stuff going on for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So
We need to stay in
um,
prayer for Brother Tim. I know he was getting an MRI today.
correct. And brother Bobby is in rehab, and so far, they're looking at 3 weeks. So we'll, and um,
I know Buddy's where is it his son-in-law and daughter that are in
yeah,
the church down
yeah,
in
his
Chandler?
son-in-law in Chandler, the church of his son-in-law and daughter is has just been ravaged by this virus, and unfortunately, it looks like it's not done with them yet. Now, it's not Buddy's family; it's families in the church where Buddy's family serves. So, just and I think that's good for all of us. As things begin to feel better. We still want to be conscientious, and let me kind of restate here. It's on the website and other places, but our position through this entire journey has been each of us make our choice as where we are as far as covering and non-covering, and everyone is welcome here at the little ALF, and we've got enough space and enough love and enough respect that we all can follow our conviction and still follow the Lord together. So, um, you know, just
Yep.
remember and just a gentle, reminder. So,
I know. I guess it was Johnny's dad that had the
yeah,
successful surgery today, so that
yeah,
was good. I know Buddy. He was telling me that they're considering back surgery for him. I think he's got a consult sometime. He was texting me or something about it, but he's something he's been trying to put off. But
mm,
he told me, everybody he knows that gets back surgery, they have some kind of problem, And I said, well, sometimes you just get to
mm,
that point.
mm.
It's like one of these days when I
Well,
get to get you I get you a new leg.
oh man, some days are diamonds, some days are stones, but um, I'm better. I'm improved. I guess that's the proper word.
We
So
can rebuild you, make you the $6 million man or whatever it
I'm
is.
just hoping to hold out for a bionics. Um,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know if I'd sign up for the trials,
Hmm.
medical trials, because there's not really any going back unless it's some sort of implant. But I don't think that's the case. But so yeah. But it's good. It's good, and enjoying the warm weather. I tell
Hmm.
you what, Snowvid just slapped winter right out me. I'm
Yeah,
not.
I'm with you.
I, I'm not going to kid you. Uh, be careful what you ask for. That man, and then followed it up with the week of self isolation, and man, I don't know, it changed me.
You ready for some summer nights, some barbecues, and all
I
that good stuff?
the other day was just gorgeous, and but yeah, man, yeah. So, well,
You
I
ready?
was kind of tickled because it was getting warm in here. That we actually had sun here in the late afternoon, and I went over and looked, and I actually turned the air conditioner on just to bring it down a scotch. So
Nice. Get some air
I,
moving.
I was like, oh, okay, this is where we are. So,
Yep. I have to do that in one part of my house that we've got all these windows, and when that sun comes in, it
mm,
is warm. So we've got to. I usually have to kick it on just to get some air moving.
yeah, because our windows face the west, and in the afternoon, it can get quite bright.
Yep.
So,
You
well,
ready for
all
a little
right, music
music?
man, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it. Turn this down. All right. Source one is one that I really like. It was written, oh wow, almost 20 years ago now. It's a Casting Crowns song called "Who Am I." look on me with love and watch me rise again. Who am I? The voice that called the sea, call out through the rain, and calm the storm in me. Not because of who I am, but because of what you've done. Not because of what I've done, but because of who you are. I am a flower quickly fading, in a day and gone tomorrow. A wave tossed in the ocean, a vapor in the wind. Still you hear me when I'm calling. Would you catch me when I'm falling? And you told me who I am. And I am a flower quickly fading, here today and gone tomorrow. A wave tossed in the ocean, a vapor in the wind. Still you hear me when I'm calling. Would you catch me when I'm falling? And you told me who I am. I am yours. I am yours. I am yours. Amen. This next one, written about the same time by Matt Redman and his wife, and it's also one of my favorites, called Blessed Be Your Name. Blessed be your name in the land that is plentiful, where streams of abundance flow. Blessed be your name. And blessed be your name when I'm found in the desert place. Though I walk through the wilderness, blessed be your name. And every blessing you pour out, I'll turn back to praise. And when the darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Blessed be your name when the sun's shining down on me, when the world's all as it should be. Blessed be your name. And blessed be your name on the road marked with suffering. Though there's pain in the offering, blessed be your name. And every blessing you pour out, I'll turn back to praise. And when the darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. You give and take away. You give and take away. My heart will choose to say, Lord, blessed be your name. You give and take away. You give and take away. My heart will choose to say, Lord, blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. love that. That third verse is pretty good for these days. Blessed be your name when the sun's shining down on me, when the world's all as it should be. Definitely use some sunshine. All right, this last one, another one of my favorites. I like Wednesday because I can kind of pick some of my favorites. I do that on Sunday too, but this one I know Buddy's on. One of my favorite hymns with a little twist. Jesus paid it all. I hear the Savior say, thy strength indeed is small. Child of weakness, watch and pray. Find in me thine all in all. 'Cause Jesus paid it all, and all to him I owe. Sin had left a crimson stain, he washed it white as snow. Lord, now indeed I find thy power and thine alone can change the leper's spots and melt the heart of stone. 'Cause Jesus paid it all, and all to him I owe. Sin had left a crimson stain, he washed it white as snow. And when before the throne I stand in him complete, Jesus died my soul to save. My lips shall still repeat, yes, Jesus paid it all, and all to him I owe. Sin had left a crimson stain, he washed it white as snow. Oh, praise the one who paid my debt and raised this life up from the dead. Oh, praise the one who paid my debt and raised this life up from the dead. Oh, praise the one who paid my debt and raised this life up from the dead. Oh, praise the one who paid my debt and raised this life up from the dead. Oh, praise the one who paid my debt and raised this life up from the dead. Oh, praise the one who paid my debt and raised this life up from the dead. 'Cause Jesus paid it all, and all to him I owe. blood left a crimson stain. He washed it white as snow. Back to you, Jimmy.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we got to begin breaking ground in earnest this Sunday on our study in Daniel, and you know, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is the hinge, obviously, that this study is hanging on. But I really felt like it would be beneficial to look at the events surrounding it. So, we picked up there in chapter 2, and we got introduced to King Nebuchadnezzar. And so the king had a restless night. Now, we don't know if it was one night or multiple nights. Now, I don't know, how people sleep, but I think it was Sunday night into Monday. I went into one of those deep sleeps. I don't know if anyone else has them, where it's so vivid and it's so real. And to wake up, you almost feel like you have to kind of climb out of it. It's just a powerful thing,
One of those Inception dreams, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad dream. It was just very vivid, very captivating. And so, I woke up, and after wrestling, walking through that, I, thought of Sunday's sermon. So the king has a dream, and double entendre right there. Anyway, and he wants to discern what, if anything, it may mean. Sometimes dreams don't mean anything,
right?
But sometimes, they can have purpose and value and different things. And so he called together all of his wisest people, and he wanted them to decipher the dream for him. The problem was none of them could do it. And, not only did he not tell them, not only did he want them to decipher it, but he didn't tell them what the dream was. Now, that's a pretty high bar. That I don't know if you've ever been asked to do something that might be impossible, but that is, I can't imagine being his advisors, and he throws this out at you. So anyway, they have a discussion. They admit they can't do it. And the king got more than a little bit upset and decided that he was going to kill them all. Not just the advisor, but I would assume that it would include the entire family, because that's kind of the way they rolled back then. And, first, my wife mentioned to me Sunday, she goes, that's one of the most foolish things that he could do. And I said, what's that? She goes, well, that you would take out all of your wisest people, over something like that. And I said, well, honey, when you fly off the handle, you can make some really poor choices. And that leads me to where I would like to drill down tonight. Now, I tell you guys that the goal of Wednesday night is to retouch Sunday morning, but it also gives me the opportunity to maybe drill down in an area that I really couldn't do on Sunday. So,
sure.
It's not a reheat, but William Arthur Ward's quote was really good. Flying off handles sometimes causes hammers and humans to lose their heads as well as their effectiveness. I think the best response I heard on Sunday was this, when we talked about flying off the handle. That's a nerve that probably – Josh, do you ever fly off the handle?
Unfortunately, I do. I would say that probably the time now, not very often. I tend to run hot and then cool off real quick. I'm not somebody who but probably the times in my life that I look back and I regret the most of my words or actions are flying off the handle. I mean, I'm kind of a wear my heart on my sleeve kind of guy, as you probably know. I mean, I'm pretty emotional on in in both more ways than one. I tend to care, and be emotional in that sense. I'm not above a good cry or now and then, but yeah, there are times now I'm better than I was, and I did see a significant change when I got saved. A significant change. I mean, I was obviously much younger man, but I saw a significant change in my life. And you can ask my parents, because I used to throw temper tantrums, and then I got saved, and about that time when I was a teenager, that a lot of that anger just kind of went away. But there's still some moments that I kind of fly off the handle, and it is. Is there anything like more embarrassing than flying off the handle and then looking back on it and going, man, I don't know. That's just like, to me, that's like the most embarrassing thing in my life is when I fly off the handle.
Hey, for me, maybe just me. Can you kick the volume of your mic up just a scotch?
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't turn it back.
That's
I didn't turn
okay.
it back up from after the music. That's my bad.
No, it's okay. It's it may be just me, but
Is that it? No, that I forgot to turn it back
yeah.
up. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Sorry about that.
So I wanted to take our time tonight and kind of drill down a little bit in the area of temper and response. When I was younger, I had a shorter fuse. Now I'm like you. I don't hide my emotions well. Unlike you, I think I should cry more. I think it would do me well, but
let it out. Let it out.
I don't know. There's nothing unmanly about it, anything like that. But that's a hard thing for me.
That's because most of the situations, everybody else is crying. You're having to
Yes.
do the funeral or minister to the grieving family. Like, unless you're alone in your car.
Yes, yeah, and I think that's part of it. Is you learn how to manage. I guess. But yeah, that's a big part of it. Is in group cries, typically, you're trying to lead, and things. So, but anyway,
you should wear a shirt. I'm human too.
That's right. And I don't know. It seems, on the occasions in which I get to actual crying, it's usually kind of over the top.
Yeah, your cup floweth over.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I am an ugly crier when you get to that. So, but
mascara gets runny, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, all of it, man. Contacts wash out. I mean, but anger management is something that all of us do. Now, how we project our anger is different. Not everyone flies off the handle outwardly, but we also know that, stuff it down, sooner or later is going to be detrimental, because eventually something's going to explode, and it typically will be over something ridiculous.
The final straw, the straw that breaks the camel's back.
That's right. So I consulted the Mayo Clinic about, anger management techniques, and I've brought to us tonight 10, and we'll try to pop through them. Some of them, there's more room for discussion than others, but I think all of us, like I said, can put these tools in our toolbox, not only for ourselves, but it's also tools that we may be able to utilize when we're engaged with an individual who may be flying off the handle, as it were, because it's not just our actions, but sometimes it can be our response to other people's actions that can be beneficial and diffusing, right?
Right.
So we'll walk through these real quick, and we'll tussle them around, a few of them. The first one I think is easy, is think before you speak. If we were all smart enough to do that, the world would be a better place. What do you think is the challenge of thinking before we speak? What do you think the greatest challenge to being able to do that is?
I think it's because, at least for me, when I get defensive, when I'm attacked, there's like an almost animalistic instinct to attack right back. Is like something with the speed of like, oh, I'm being attacked, I've got to defend, and part of at least my defensiveness as someone who is verbal and talks a lot is to go right back. And so I think it's almost like a, I'm not going to use the word evolutionary, that's not the word I'm looking for, natural, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like a defense mechanism.
Right. Absolutely. We tend to respond, and men, that's part of our trigger, when we feel disrespected and those sort of things. But if you can learn to think before you speak, it is one of the greatest tools, not only to enhance your life, but to enhance your relationships. I don't do it all the time. I can say with absolute confidence I do it more now than I used to, and I'm glad of that because I've made my life uncomfortable unnecessarily, and so thinking before you speak. Now, I think these other 9 steps can give you the space, the breathing room that you can think through these things. So, number 2 is this: once you're calmed down, then express your anger. So, this is important. If we're going to have a true relationship, we need to have a pathway by which we can express these things.
Right.
And so the challenge that we face is not to launch into it at the moment, but once that wave comes through our lives, because like we were talking about, there's circumstances, there's times, people will send me emails or text messages or whatever, and sometimes, depending on what the topic is, I'm like anyone else. I've got pride and I've got those things, and I could feel this wave of emotion rolling through me, and I have the wisdom to know, wait until that passes through, because then you're going to be able to think through it and that sort of thing. And I've taken days to reply because I just need to let that filter through.
So is anger, and anger it's just an emotion, right? I mean, it's just a feeling you can't control. When that comes over you, you can't control feeling angry. I mean, I guess you could work on like triggers or whatever, but you can't control your emotions or your feelings. So anger as an emotion, is it kind of a neutral thing? Is it all about how you express that feeling, or is anger? We hear the term righteous anger all the time, but is there really Is there really a righteous and unrighteous anger, or is it more about the if you can't control the feeling, is it more about how you express the feeling? I've never really thought about it.
Right. I think a righteous indignation or a righteous anger typically is projected at something.
Okay.
Abortion. It's not usually
An individual.
boiled down to an individual, and
Gotcha.
so what we're looking at is kind of a person to person, and so
I hear you.
Once you've calm down, then you can come back and express, I was really angry because, and that sort of thing. And you can discuss it with a more level head. And it's important to be able to do that because, there can be constructive things that come out of that.
Right.
The third is get some exercise, and who of us can use that? But sometimes just getting away and getting some physical exertion.
Gotcha.
Just kind of cleanses the palate, and it'll actually release endorphins, a chemical response that will reset your brain. And so if you
some serotonin.
Yeah, some natural serotonin. Get out in the sun. You'll be surprised how much a sitting in a warm car on a sunny day will just, it can really calm things down. So get out, take a walk, go to the gym if that's, something that you do, mow the lawn, just go do something physical. And your
I, I
body.
I've got to interject because I won't say who it is because at least one of the individuals might be watching. But I know somebody told me that an individual they always knew when their spouse was angry because that was the only time the lawn got mowed.
Well, kudos to getting out there, right? Hey, honey, why are you pounding that board with a hammer? I don't even see a nail.
Is that the old, your mom would say, go hit the pillow kind of thing?
That's right.
Go
get it out of you. Out, man. Yeah. I'd mentioned to my bride, and I'm sure there's places like this, but I would love to have a place you could go where you pay and all you do is destroy things.
Yeah, they have those things. They have that.
That would be spectacular.
I don't know if they have one in the DFW area. I'll have to look it up, but I know what you're talking about.
And so, get some exercise. The body has a natural response and coping mechanism. The fourth is this: take a time out. Sometimes you need to physically take a time out. It's not just for kids. And that could be a different room. It could be a different place. Maybe you need to go out and get a cup of coffee and sit down for a little while and just get some physical distance between the situation. Take a time out.
They have it, man. They have it in Fort Worth. It's called Smash and Bash. It's in Fort Worth, so you might have to
field trip.
That's right. Field trip.
Field trip. Now let me say about the timeout. I think it's good and it has a place and a value. One of the things that is a challenge that maybe you want to consider is this: communicating that, hey, I'm going to take a time out here.
Instead of just doing it.
Yeah, because the human mind always fills in the blanks, and if you just walk off, and especially if your timeout is a physical relocation, that's going to be interpreted through the lens, right? And perception's 9/10 of our reality. So, hey, I'm feeling overwhelmed here. I need to take a time out. I'm going to step away. And if you're the one hearing that, then you need to respect that, and you need to give them permission to step away.
And we need to. I think it's great advice, and we need to use that for kids because so often I've seen with kids is like you have the kid and you talk to him and you're getting on him and all this other stuff, and like kids get frustrated too. Kids need some space. Kids need to know that it's okay. I talk to Grant all the time when Harley's getting on him and he gets so frustrated that he boils over. I'm like, hey, it's okay to get out of that situation and go and cool off. I think but the point you made about communicating, I think, is incredibly important, especially with our spouses, because sometimes I'll get frustrated. It has nothing to do with my wife.
That's right.
Something else that's going on, and if I just hightail it out of the room, she's going to think I'm mad at her.
Yeah, well, her first instinct would be, "What did I do?" And don't you want to fight that natural urge to try to bring them back in? Well, don't walk off from me. We need to settle this. Okay, give them some space. It's okay.
Yep.
Actually, it'll probably be beneficial in the end. The fifth one is identify possible solutions. A lot of conflict comes from just trying to win the argument.
Right.
You're not about solving the problem. You're about being the winner at the end. And typically there's not a winner when that happens. You may be able to intimidate, anger, frustrate, or whatever someone where they just stop and shut down. That's not a win.
You're right. And a lot of times there's repeat. You find yourself in the same kind of cycle, and if you don't identify a solution, if you don't solve whatever the underlying cause is, then that argument or that anger or whatever, that's just going to happen again and again.
Yeah, it's going to come back, and not only if you're able to turn your attention on solutions, not only will it answer the question, but there's also side benefits of the sense of accomplishment together, and those sort of things. What's the question and what's possible solutions?
Right.
You just, if you can move on, or create, start working toward an answer, that's a good thing. Number 6 is this: stick with I statements. You can be very difficult, and they gave an illustration here, so I'll use theirs. I just be respectful and specific. For example, say I'm upset that you left the table without offering to help with the dishes. Okay. Instead of saying you never do any housework. Using I'm upset, the
whole you never, you always comes out a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you throw out a statement like that, well, you never do anything around the house. That's a big enchilada you're throwing out there, and
yeah, them's fighting words.
They are. I mean, they sure can be, because as men, because the odds are we're going to be on the short end of this one. But as men, that immediately calls into question our pride and our provision. And oh yeah, well, who mows the lawn when they're angry? We're going to start going down that punch list, because that's what we do. We justify, and so that's really important. Now in my home, our home, my bride's and I's, forever ago, the agreement was the one who cooks doesn't clean up after.
Nice.
It's a kind, respectful kind of way, and last night my bride cooked, and she, and it's funny because my bride will go, no, I'll clean it up, and I'll remind her, no, you know the rule, you know the rule, and it's it's a good thing. So I'm just saying, maybe you could be, chip in a little bit here. Number 7 is really good. Don't hold a grudge. And as Christians, this is a paramount truth. Your faith maturity should lead you to be a person who doesn't hold grudges.
Why do you think that grudges? What leads to the holding of grudges? I mean, because why does that happen? Why does that? That's such a. It seems like it's so prevalent in our culture. Like it's such a, it's like in the fabric of our society that, like, oh well, somebody does this to you, then you got to get them and all that other stuff. Where do you think that comes from?
Well, it's built on the foundation of pride. Also, it's the I don't know. I'll say it's the ugly stepsister because of self-preservation. Because if we're not careful, we'll hold a grudge because we're afraid of being hurt again.
Oh, gotcha. It's like an offense thing.
It is, and that's one of the greatest questions when we talk about forgiveness. God doesn't call us to be a doormat. That's not what the Lord is saying. You can forgive someone without forgetting what has been done, and you can still hold them in account to it. If you're really mature about it, there might be a bridge back from it. But God doesn't call us to simply, put our nose in front of someone's fist, hypothetically over and over and over again. So when you hold a grudge, one, it's not beneficial. Two, it's detrimental. Holding a grudge is the poison that kills its own container.
And is the bitterness, that aspect of bitterness, really the key there with holding a grudge? Is that you're kind of letting this like bitterness kind of take root, take
Sure.
hold?
Yeah, it'll take root, and if you do it enough, broadly enough and deep enough, it'll affect every fiber of your life.
Hmm.
It actually can affect your health, and it's an important thing to seek to forgive and to let things go. And we wrestle with that, but let me just kind of take it back to the Bible. Um, how many times do we transgress, anger, disappoint the Lord?
Right.
And what
Every
does He
day.
do? Every day, by accident and on purpose. And so Christ is our example, and the Lord doesn't hold into our account, and we need to strive to do that. Even if someone doesn't ask for it, even if someone doesn't receive it, you will benefit from it. You will be better for it. Don't hold a grudge. And if you're holding a grudge, you're thinking about it right now. If you're thinking about it right now, you need to let it go. Let it go. You can see them right now. You not only do you see them, but you see the film of whatever it is you're holding a grudge about.
Yeah, I
And
think oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
you
I was just saying that for me, I don't have a history of holding grudges. Thankfully, I struggle with a lot of things. That's not one of them. But the one individual that I can think of in my life where I did, and I don't now. But I think the difficult thing for me was in holding a grudge is seeing someone behave in a way and it actually hurting someone else, and continuing to hurt that person, and you can't do anything to stop it. And so that's where the bitterness, for me at least, not that I'm above everybody else or anything, but to me that's harder sometimes. Is this person, I'm not, it's not hurting me. It's not about them hurting me, but they're hurting this person I love.
Yeah.
And that can
So you're a
really,
third party grudger.
that's tough. That's tough. I know if somebody can say anything to you, but if they say something to your bride or to your daughter or your granddaughter or whatever, yeah,
it's a short walk. So
it's tough.
don't hold a grudge, and like I said, if you're thinking of one right now and you need to process through that, we'd love to help you.
Yep.
It's not always easy, but you can, and you should strive to. Number 8 is my favorite. Use humor to release tension. Now, the challenge with humor is a powerful thing. The Bible says humor is a good medicine. Laughter is a good medicine. But you have to make sure it's the right humor.
Right.
If you're unsure, don't throw it out there.
Yeah, you don't want somebody to think you're making light of the situation or not take it seriously.
Absolutely. Typically humor in a moment of tension is third party or third situation humor. It's not at them or about them. It's something on the peripheral. It's kind of that, it's that squirrel, if we can all, kind of turn our head, but it's a bear trap. So you want to be really mindful, but humor is a powerful thing. If we can just laugh, and sometimes you can even end up laughing at the circumstances that brought this tension into being. Number 9 is practice relaxation skills. Take some yoga breaths. Sit down, close your eyes, turn on some music, but practice some relaxation techniques, and they're good. Counting, count to 10. Imagine a relaxing scene. Go to your happy place. You hear that, joking all the time. Go to your happy place. Just
what's your happy place? If you could just close your eyes. Would it be? Is it eating lemon chicken in Russia? Is that where you go to?
Oh man, that's one. That is a glorious memory right there. Yeah. I do. I did practice yoga. I really should do it again. But the breathing techniques, yoga breathing techniques, they really do work.
Right.
Um, cleansing breaths. We kind of make fun of. So, and your relaxation technique may be different, but find what works for you and utilize it when need be. And then lastly, number 10 is know when to seek help.
Mm.
That is one of the greatest struggles for some, not all. I think predominantly we men, you may just need to talk to somebody.
Right.
And for you and I, and for those that are with us tonight, let me say this, is if someone seeks out you, you need to be a listener and not an advisor, first and foremost.
Right.
And I'll share with you. Well, no, I can't do that. I had a situation. I can't do that one. Anyway, we want to be very careful, very conscientious when people seek us out, because if we're not careful, we can just toss gasoline right on that thing. But sometimes you need a third party. You need a Switzerland. You need someone who's not emotionally invested in the circumstances, because they can get a third story view that you may not be able to see. They may see a solution that you either haven't thought of or don't see. It's an amazing thing when you can bring in someone that you trust, all those things. It can be a powerfully productive thing when you realize, I'm over my head. I think I might be drowning. I need counsel. I need, and that's a good thing, do.
Yeah, I mean, there might be somebody, there might be such a history that you might need to seek professional counseling or something to work through some stuff maybe in your past. A lot of people grow up with childhood trauma or something, and that's not something you just like gut out. That's something that you need to find. Sometimes it gets to the point, and I agree. I think this is a big challenge because it does take some humility to go, wait a minute, I've tried all these other things. I've tried these 9 things, and I'm still hitting the wall. Yep. Maybe I need, there's nothing wrong. And the stigma is getting removed a little bit, but there's nothing wrong with going to the doctor when you're sick. There's nothing wrong with seeing a counselor or a psychiatrist to help you when you need some help.
Hey, full disclosure, there was a time in the time that I've even been here at ALF that I reached a place and I sought professional help, and it helped. And so I want to, reaffirm what you're saying. Do not ever be afraid or ashamed of seeking professional help. It is a gift God has given people, and it is a gift God has given to you. Do not allow yourself to be shamed, embarrassed, or whatever. That's for sure. And so lastly, I think I would be, if I didn't remind ourselves of a wonderful illustration. Each and every one of us walk through our lives with 2 buckets. One's filled with water and the other's filled with gasoline. And when we come up on the sparks of life, because they're going to be there, the bucket we choose to use is going to have a significant and lasting impact. And if you'll think through it, and especially if you choose to use the water, your life will be better. Your health will be better. Your relationships will be better. But if you choose to use the gasoline, you need to be ready for the consequences and understand this. You don't know what all the consequences could be. If you're wanting to burn down the house, baby, you might not get out of the house. Let me just, in a kind of a dark innuendo there. The only person in life you control is you. You can't control all the circumstances, but you can control how you respond to the circumstances. That's where you ask God to give you grace, wisdom, and strength. And understand that it takes a greater man or a woman to walk away in humility than it does to blow the world up, and for no better reason than just blowing up.
And we live in a world where people are constantly throwing gas.
I'm going to take it one step further. Currently in our culture, a lot of people swim in a pool of gasoline, holding a sparkler in their mouth. Our culture is just so out of control right now. And yeah, we're all frustrated. We're all whatever. Okay. But let me just say this, brothers and sisters, friends, the means by which we change is the change happens in us.
Amen.
We evidence and practice the change. And I say it, quite often, let's be a part of the answer. Let's be a part of the solution, not part of the problem. That goes for that too. And I try to measure my words very carefully because I'm carrying 2 buckets, and a house that's been burnt down is of no value whatsoever.
Have you, in your experience, do you find it the more you use one bucket over the other, the easier it is to keep using that bucket?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you will just seek and intentionally strive to live in peace and to be a peacemaker, it does come easier to you. It's kind of like a first responder, military, whatever. You go through training, and you train and you train and you train and you train, and the goal is when you train to such a point that when you are in a circumstance of similar, you go on instinct.
Right.
Not feelings.
Right.
You're not processing through the feelings. There's an instinctive response. There's a spiritual truth to that. I had a coach one time who says this: you've got to practice like you want to play. And so, yeah, absolutely. The more that you do it, the easier it comes, and the more that you want to do it. And so, yeah, absolutely. It's a choice. It's absolutely a choice. And, once we realize that it doesn't mean that we're weak, and it doesn't mean, it sets us free. So if you have these things in your life right now, if you need to talk, come by, have a cup of coffee. Let's talk this thing out. So, anywho's, all right, Joshua, closing thoughts, feelings, cries of outrage, fits of anger.
I think this is super helpful. The bucket metaphor analogy is great. Just in my head, and I'm glad that we talked about this because it was a good reminder to me that all these truths, truth is all comes from God. So when we're giving truth, we don't have to read a Bible verse every second of every day all truth is God's truth, and there's
right.
truth here. And I'm so encouraged by it because sometimes I can get caught up in where there's a difference. We have the Bible and then we have the world, and we do have that. But all truth ultimately comes from God. God is truth.
That's right.
So that was a good reminder for me too. Just like, hey, there's nothing wrong with people have found some of these anger management techniques. A lot of them are rooted in Scripture. We can tell, and it's all truth is God's truth. So if it's true, then you know who to credit.
That's right. That's right. We're actually going to talk about that on Sunday when we continue our look. We get to do. Last Sunday was Dream Weaver. This Sunday is Dream Interpreter. So it's going to be good. So I look forward to it, and we hope that you guys have a great week and continue to remember our friends and our family that are in need of prayer support. Reach out to someone. If you haven't heard from them in a while, reach out, ask them how they're doing. If you have friends who maybe struggling. There's a great commercial on TV right now. It's a PSA. Listen, use that awkwardness and just ask them, how you doing? We need each other. We still do. And we need to maintain those open lines of communication. So, well, all right, my friend, I'm going to graciously bow out and allow you to sing us out.
Sounds
Love
good.
you, Josh. I appreciate you very much. See you
Love you too.
tomorrow.
All right, let me turn this down. And I'm just going to sing basically the reprise of Blessed Be Your Name as a good reminder for us that no matter what happens, no matter what's going on in life, that Lord's in control, and that we can thank Him for everything that He gives us, whether the sun's shining or whether it's not. Every blessing you pour out, I'll turn back to praise. And when the darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. You give and take away. You give and take away. My heart will choose to say, Lord, blessed be your name. You give and take away. You give and take away. My heart will choose to say, Lord, blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Night, guys.